Noise, lots of noise. Noise from Cal McNair, noise from Hannah McNair, and noise from Sean McVay, as well as some clues leading up to the draft. It is draft month. Cody, Stoots, Landry Locker with you here on SNL. Shout out to everyone who joins us daily at 4 o'clock, subscribes on the podcast, and subscribes to each of our channels. We very much appreciate you, and it's damn near go time. Like we're getting to like the 3-week mark, and that's when business really picks up. Tomorrow, we'll be a few weeks away from the draft, and it's going to be a very, very exciting one with a lot of clues. But Cody, you're at the owners' meetings. You're at the airport. You're getting ready to take off. You got to sit across from Cal and Hannah McNair. What stuck out with as far as what ownership had to say at the NFL owners' meetings?
Well, I know this will surprise you, but the McNairs are pretty happy with where the Texans are right now as far as what they've been able to accomplish on the field. And they like the job that DeMeco Ryans has done. And they're pretty happy with that hire, as they should be. 2 years in, 2 playoff appearances after those just we got the Easterby years, the apathy years, whatever those years were, just the reset years, whatever they needed to be. So they seem pretty content, but I kind of got the feeling that they have pretty lofty expectations for what this Texans team can accomplish in 2025. And the way that they kind of talked about where they thought the team was, where they thought it could go, it to me kind of set the tone for at least their expectations for what they want out of this upcoming season.
Yeah, let's hear what they a couple of things from what they had to say. I do think it's interesting. They were front and center for a while. I think they were kind of doing some damage control. Hey, you're in good hands. I know things are tough, yada yada yada. Then there was the vocal off season. I think they kind of toned it down last year. I don't know if that was by design or just by the fact that they didn't feel like they really had to do that as much. But I did find some of the stuff that they said interesting. And let's kind of start with how they feel this year compared to last. Here's Cal and Hannah McNair talking about their feel of their football team as we sit in April of 2025 as compared to April of 2024.
Compared to the year before coming off the playoff loss, we felt we were a little bit of ways. This year, coming off the playoff loss, we felt we were pretty darn close. So I'm sure in the offseason, the moves are making and at the draft, and there'll be some more moves here all through training camp right up to the season, and then even in the season. I think we're looking to take another step and excited to see what happens.
Okay. Do you feel the same way on that? I kind of feel the same. Like at the worst, I think you kind of feel like you're in the same boat. Is that fair?
Oh no, I feel overall, I would say better about the team because I know about the defense now. I mean, think about where they were coming off that Ravens game. They did not have one safety you could get excited about. Derek Stingley had not stayed healthy for a season and had not, put together a season worth of all-pro play yet. They didn't have Danielle Hunter coming out of that Ravens game. Coming out of the loss to Kansas City, I feel much better overall about the defense, and it seems like they've identified what was wrong with the offense. I mean, that remains to be seen, but it seems like they should have figured out what didn't click for the offense in 2024 from a coaching staff standpoint. And they feel, that's been a conversation point we've had for a ton of time here in the offseason is, hey, this coaching staff feels pretty good about the guys that they swapped out, and they feel like they're going to be able to go where they need to go on offense. So I think the roster is much better than at the end of the Ravens game, and I could certainly see where you'd have an elevated sense of the team. I'm not sitting here acting like it's way better, but it certainly, to me, is better.
All right, I disagree. I'll tell you why in a sec, but let's go to the suit. By the way, shout out to Chef out there in the UK. We are global, baby. You ain't never Swarm. Trill Kick says, Stoots, any questions regarding STM lawsuit? Stoots is muted right now.
There's a season ticket member lawsuit that's coming out, I guess, or on the way, or has come out, or reports about it. I haven't read through it. I don't know exactly what their complaints are, but it's around the season ticket members and the PSLs and all that kind of stuff. And
so, what is like? Is there anything on it? Like,
I was alerted to the fact that it existed yesterday. It is not something that I give a crap about, so I didn't report about it. And I haven't read the lawsuit. I don't know what their complaints are. So I don't know.
I
don't have anything for you. I'm sorry.
I am so desensitized when it comes to the whole lawsuit type of thing. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, if I'll go take a look at it, see what they want. I mean, I'm sure they want either their money back or they want guarantees about their PSLs that they spent money on. But I haven't read the lawsuit yet. I knew it was coming, and we'll see what the actual lawsuit. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't. Maybe we go get Sick Meltzer on this thing.
So, man, I heard his hourly rate. I don't know if we can afford that. Good God. I didn't know he was doing it like that. That's how you become a partner right there. Anyway, I don't know that I agree with him that it's just 100% closer. And I don't know, like, if we're talking about heading into this season or if we're talking about long term. I think long term you have to feel a little bit more uncertain because you missed the opportunity to capitalize on CJ Stroud's rookie deal. I'm not trying to sit here and break that down. Like, I think we acknowledge that throwing around the money and the financial freedom that you have this year, we know that they failed in doing that with the way that they directed the money. Last year, we didn't know that. We also last year we felt that CJ Stroud was right on the edge of becoming an elite quarterback. Maybe that was unfair. But I'm just talking about feels. I'm not talking about facts. I'm talking about feels. We thought they had one of the best wide receiver cores in the league last year, and now it's kind of a position of weakness. So I do think on the surface.
Yeah, but we didn't think they had one of the best wide receiver cores in football leaving the field in Kansas City.
No, I know, but they're comparing this year to last. They're you might be a lawyer. You might be Callahan's lawyer.
They're comparing walking off the field in Baltimore to walking off the field in Kansas City.
Yeah, so they're just comparing that one game because it was a closer score. Is that what they're saying? Because when I look at it from the pecking order. I didn't think this team was good enough to win a Super Bowl. And heading into the offseason, I feel like the team is kind of
are they better or worse than when they walked off the field in Baltimore?
Are they better or worse?
Yeah.
Well, when they walked off the field in Baltimore, they had a crap ton of cap space. They had a quarterback that we felt amazing about, and we thought that they would have the offensive line that they wanted. There was another year of Bobby Slowick. Like, I didn't shamefully walk off the field in Baltimore. Like, I thought that the organization functioned at a good level. When they walked off the field in Kansas City, I felt like this was a Mickey Mouse operation on offense, that the offensive line was a disaster and you were heavily invested in some of that offensive line, and that CJ Stroud, for lack of a better term, perhaps regressed. I'm not saying that there's not reason to be encouraged by some of the changes they've made, but I don't know, like, if like comparing 2023 to 2024, it's really easy to say, yes, we're steps ahead. I don't know that I feel that way right now, like from this year to last. And maybe that was because we were overly delusional last year and they were kind of the premature toast of the league. And maybe that wasn't warranted, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I think they could end up being a better team. I agree with you on the defense. They do have something elite, but it's just not like 100% clear that they're further along. If that makes sense.
Well, I feel like they're further along, and I feel like it is, pretty clear that they're further along. So we'll just agree to disagree on that.
You there?
Yeah. Did you freeze on me?
There you are. I think you froze.
I did not freeze.
Yeah. I don't think we need to. Are we agree to disagree now? What do you mean?
No, I mean we both made our points. What's there left to say? I mean, you like the defense a lot more than a year ago, but now it can't make up for the fact.
What about the offense?
Well, yeah, the offensive line sucked 2 years ago too. Like they weren't good in Baltimore. Stroud was running for his life in Baltimore.
What's the tier? Like, do you think they've hopped up a tier? Because I think, like, when I look at this team right now,
yes, they are a tier ahead of where they were walking off the field in Baltimore.
But do they have more company now? That's the other thing. Like, do they have more company around them?
Well, sure, because other teams get better too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know that they 100% got better. But by the way, I do have a list of things for you. Cody Stoots, as you can see. What time's your flight?
I board in 48 minutes.
There you go, Cody. Damn, that's perfect timing right there. Look at that. So since Cody is live at an airport, we do have I have a list of things that you cannot say based on where you're at and your location. So there are a couple things that I do not want you to say because we do want you to make it back here safe in one piece. Number one, do not raise your voice as you're known to do and say, I'm going to hijack this segment. Do not do that. Do not raise your voice and say,
never said that in my life.
This segment.
I've never said those words ever.
Okay, so do not say that. Number two, do not describe, because I know you try to be cool and your try to be cool is a little bit dated. Do not describe any potential draft prospect as the bomb. Okay? So do not describe any potential draft prospect as the bomb.
Yeah, talking about traits is a little sensitive too, because you can't say that a guy who has like a lot of athleticism to him uses it in a
You cannot say that. There's a few things that you can't say at the airport, so we got to be careful.
There's certainly words that I can't say at the airport. You're right.
Yeah, so be careful. I'm looking out for your safety. Cody Stoots, Landry Locker. Here it is. SNL. We're gonna have a little Christmas in April a little later on in the show. I'm gonna compare the teams in the AFC South and some of the clues to Christmas time and getting a Christmas gift as a kid. So we're gonna have some Christmas talk in April, and I promise it'll make sense, and I promise it will be local. It will be localized.
That's something that only Landry Locker can do too.
Now I need you to say that you're looking forward to CJ Stroud throwing bombs to Nico next year.
I'm not saying anything about the deep passes and the other words people might use to describe them in NFL lingo.
All right,
Are we going to stop saying move the chains because of the chain gang going away?
Nah, never. That'll never die.
Okay, all right, just making sure. We got to make sure our lingo's up to snuff here.
All right, let's hear Cal McNair talking about and Hannah McNair talking about paying that money. They paid money to Nico Collins last year. They paid Derek Stingley this offseason.
Well, before we move on though, and you said this, and you would disagree with the McNairs again, and you don't know this because I don't think you've seen this. You said you didn't believe they could win a championship last year,
right?
So you're pretty. I mean, look, I don't know. Many of us thought even if they got to the AFC Championship game, they're going to New Orleans. You certainly you start to think about it if you could get there, but Kansas City was the stopping point for a lot of people.
I want to get to this. I just don't want to. I'm trying to like spread and let our people breathe because you guys know that I don't want to shit on what the McNairs are saying twice in a row. We'll get to what you're about to set up because Hannah said something else, but I'm kind of trying to give some breathing room between shitting on what they said twice in a row. So that's what I'm doing. I'm spreading, and I actually think they could be where they are right now. Ahead, I think it's debatable, but yeah, we'll get to what you're saying.
Okay.
I think Hannah said something kind of a little bit nuts, and I want to know if the people felt that way. But let's hear them do what they do know, something I damn sure can't get on their level on, and that is spending money. And they spent a lot on Nico Collins and Derek Stingley. How does that make you feel? Shout out to Mark Berman.
They're happy to reward those players.
Setting the standard. I mean, they have come in and set the bar at a very high level, and they're great teammates and great leaders, and we're really happy to embrace that and continue because they're young players, but to continue to see them evolve and mature we're really looking forward to see what's where that chapter is going to lead. But really excited for them in their leadership and their ability on the field.
The relentless mindset is so key, and it's all over our building right now, and it's really a lot of fun. And Nick keeps drafting really well. I hope we can pay all of them, right?
Yeah, it's a great problem.
It's a great problem to have that,
Yeah.
We can't keep everyone, but that speaks to Nick and D'Amico and getting the right guys in the building.
Hannah's been tanning, man. Where's she been? Where they been going on vacay at? That is. I mean, I just always you see tan with the common folk. It's like, all right, they've been at the pool, they've been walking around. Maybe they made a trip to the zoo. Like, where did that tan come from? Because it ain't really tanning weather here. That's like,
well, it ain't exactly been cold and dreary.
But yeah, I mean the paying thing, they are right. It is kind of contagious and all that, and they've done a good job of. You think Hannah McNair goes in a tanning bed?
No way. No. They do go to a lot of. I mean, I gotta imagine they're doing a lot of baseball tournaments and stuff.
Oh yeah,
but,
her daughter's pretty active too. Her
and
daughter
then
plays
flag football with the daughter.
Yeah,
so
that could be it.
Probably outside a lot.
That could be it. Now, I Must Panda, you got to be careful. McNair Island, come on. We can't talk about islands and billionaires and stuff. Come on. What are you saying? Are you breaking some news to us?
I'd like to know what's on that island. Here's a framed jersey from Arian Foster.
All right, so let's get back to
the money thing. I will say, you add in, hey, guys that do it the Texans way, we're going to take care of them, from D'Amico Ryans that we talked about the other day, and then the McNairs are the ones that, they're happy to write the check when the player makes sense. So if you're CJ Stroud, if you're Will Anderson, 2025, you do what you're supposed to do. They're happy to write the check for you. Put the money aside, because that's always still the most insane thing to me about the way the NFL operates is when you get a giant contract, all the guaranteed money, all the money for it gets set aside. So you got to go put it in a bank somewhere so that player's guaranteed to get his money when it's all said and done.
All right, let's hear Cal and Hannah talking about, we'll get to the stadium issue in a sec. And I got a feeling they're just going to cover their bases on that. But I guess Hannah McNair took it a step further from being better off this year compared to last. Take it away, Hannah.
I thought we were going to go all the way this year, and I felt it in every part of me, and you could feel it from the team. They believed it as well, and the belief was throughout the organization. So when we lost in Kansas City, that hurt a lot, because we were right there, and I really thought we were going. Mm-hmm. It was just a belief throughout the whole organization.
Belief, and then we had some key injuries down the stretch there, especially our wide receiver room, that caused a little bit of a blip. But we had a really strong running game, really good wide receiver room, quarterback playing at a high level, defense playing outstanding, and so with the offense clicking and the defense going, we felt we really had a shot. So we're looking forward to this season and see what happens.
I mean, I guess you could be excited about the offense coming out of the Chargers game, but the offense wasn't clicking in Kansas City. That one, the offense looked fine against the Chargers, but the clicking, I mean,
yeah, when was the offense clicking? And I think early in the season they believed they could win it, but I think that kind of left. I didn't get the feel that team believed, and rightfully so, that they could win it all. I feel like as soon as CJ started talking about wanting to have fun again, and the Lions game where it fell apart, the
Lions game that
was where it got kind of stripped. So I didn't feel that they believed that they could win it all. I did not. I think initially there was that feeling, but I don't think it was there.
Even if you get past Kansas City, you had to go to Buffalo, and they're damn good. But you weren't getting the same Buffalo that they played earlier in the season. You could sort of convince yourself that, hey, the success against Buffalo last year, or earlier in the season, like we're gonna do it again to them. Like, I guess you could foolishly convince yourself that, but most people believe the season was ending in Kansas City, and even if you got past Kansas City, you still had to beat Buffalo. I will say, prior to Kaimi Fairbairn going out there missing that extra point,
oh yeah,
you had to feel pretty good about playing at least an AFC Championship game.
No, and I mean that was the drive. That was the one where it was like, okay, are they turning this around? Are they flipping the switch? But yeah, against Kansas City, yes, going to Buffalo is way different. Going to Buffalo versus winning against
Buffalo coming to your place with half their roster hurt.
Yeah, they didn't
have Von Miller. They didn't have one of their defensive tackles. They didn't have Khalil Shakur. At the time, they didn't have Amari Cooper, though Amari Cooper was awful last year.
He was washed. Yeah, so I didn't really agree on that. What about the stadium, though? What about where the Texans play? How about the stadium issue? They got 7 years left on this lease. That's the funniest thing about this dialogue. They're kind of starting it now, but
well, yes and no.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, I'll explain.
Complicated issue, and one we're excited to roll up our sleeves and continue to work on. We've been working on it for a couple years already, and we're committed to continue to work on it with our rodeo partner, the Harris County partner. The city may be involved in it, and so to get all the parties in, come up with a great solution where it's a win-win for all of us is really our goal.
So a very diplomatic answer about that, but you mentioned the 7 years, and yes, they have a 7-year lease with the situation. It's really only going to be 5 years worth of playing there if they can get the improvements done in a timely manner. No improvements happening in 2025, or they'd already be working on it. No improvements happening next year. World Cup's in town. So 2027's the first.
Try to improve it for the World Cup.
When you play a whole football season, and then you have the rodeo. When do you improve it? You don't have any time. So you're out of time to put in. So really, it's a 5-year lease with the improvements. And then if you think the improvements take more than a year, it's really a 4-year lease with the improvements. So from the timing perspective of like, and then by the way, if it's 3 years from now, who knows what this, people that work with you in the city now, maybe they move up, they move sideways, they get voted out, whatever. Like the people that help you now may not always be the people. It's like, it's it's convoluted and complicated. And, I know I think they're in very much just the idea phase because they can't do anything for 2 years.
It's interesting. I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it. You lay it out very well. I don't know how this whole thing works. I talked to someone yesterday who was talking about, well, they make too much money from the lease from the city. I don't. There's a lot that goes into this stadium thing that is above my head. I just think if you want to maximize like the stadium experience and what goes around it, I just think you need to leave NRG Park at the very least. And in an ideal situation, probably just leave Houston altogether. And go to the burbs.
Houston proper, surrounding Houston area. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, the timeline of all this, it's all conversations for like a year and a half. Because even if you create a plan now, that plan may necessitate being changed by the time it actually can be executed. So 2027 is the first time they could really probably dig in and work on this. And again, the time frame that other stadiums have to do stuff, like I'm not sitting here acting like there's nothing else that goes on in other stadiums, but like, you really get your hands on it, late March at best. And then it's got to be hands off by middle of August.
Is the stadium dated? Like that's the other thing. Some people will say, well, it's only been there 20, just the stadium itself. It's only been there 20 years, yada, yada, yada. Like, and then you see all these other stadiums. Like, does it feel old? I mean, compared to Jerry World, it does. Like it can't hold Jerry World's jock, which I mean is fine. It's completely different beast. Like, Yeah, I mean, I guess the stadiums that I've gone to have been in like major cities, but
I mean, it's not. It's. I would tell you that it. And this was a talking point because I kind of picked some brains of some other people that cover other teams and talking about their stadium and what's around there and stuff like that. 25 years is when teams start thinking about the new stadium, and right about 30 years is when it feels old. The Georgia Dome is another example where, it was new and fancy, and then all of a sudden it was super old, and then boom, Mercedes-Benz shows up.
It feels like stadiums just got completely like at the snap of a finger. I don't know what the starting point was. It might have been Jerry World, but just all of a sudden, like at the snap of a finger, it went from like you walked into a certain type of stadium with a certain type of, I guess, quality, niceness for a certain amount of years. And then all of a sudden you're walking in, it's like, damn, what the hell is this? Like, and that's just something and the other problem they have is, I don't think it's just the stadium.
It's like, the area around it.
Well, they want to host like Super Bowls and World Cups and all that. And it's like, man, that's going to be a disaster. Like the World Cup's I'm going to do everything in my power to try to avoid that situation as much as possible. The World Cup seems like an absolute nightmare in Houston.
Yeah.
Does it not? Traffic. I'm talking about the traffic. I'm talking about back and forth, all that. Like it just.
It's going to be. I mean, that and the surrounding area is going to be so congested and packed. Like they're going to be trying to put. I mean, what's the rodeo can max out at like 73,000 or something. Like they're going to try to put 80,000 people in there.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be incredible. Patrick Ding says, "Time to Airbnb my place out."
I mean.
That's not. Hey, let me tell you this. I was in Cleveland for 6 months, and my apartment was like right by where, like downtown, like in downtown, but like right by the stadiums. The Republican National Convention came to town. I got $3,000 for 4 days, and it was just a normal apartment. $3,000 4 days.
I have actually, it's funny Patrick says this. I have talked to Mama Stoots about this because I feel like her spot, bunch of bedrooms, pool in the back, it's going to be, depending on which clientele rents it, they could not be expecting the Houston heat. Even people coming from hot countries this time of, the time of year when you play soccer, they're still going to be like, God, it's waving. Like having the pool in the back, like Mama Stoots could get some premium cash for that thing.
$3,000. And I had cousins in Cleveland, so I just got to stay with them. But it was $3,000. And I didn't want to be around all like the political, like people fighting in the street and stuff. It's $3,000. Very much so. So I guess there was a funny moment with our boy Aaron Wilson and Cal McNair.
Oh, man.
You showed me this. I didn't watch it on purpose, but I don't know if you're overselling this or not. Very intrigued by this. I think I also had a nice little funny quip in here as well. So let's see what you think here.
You were a lineman. It starts in the trenches, and there have been a lot of changes to the offensive line. What do you think about what they've been able to do so far? And obviously they're not done with the offensive line.
Did you say he was a lineman?
The tight end.
I thought you played line.
No, DJ was on that too.
Tight end and linebacker.
Okay, you didn't put your hand down. Okay, gotcha. You were a skill player.
What do you think of the tight end room?
I just thought you were a lineman. Okay.
Well, we
That was
lined
new
up.
information for you.
Our linebackers lined up a foot off for the D line,
There you go.
and we had the tackles, and so that we almost were linemen to that extent. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys can the coaches can put 5 guys on the field, the best 5, put them in the right spots and coach them up, and let's go play. So we're really excited to see what's going to happen.
So he called him a lineman?
He called him a lineman, but he wasn't a lineman and when he played football. He was a linebacker and a tight end.
Aaron,
I know what
seemed a little bit kind of testy on that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he liked the DJ Bieneme fired in from over the side. Was like, nope, he played tight end.
What did DJ say? DJ said he played tight end.
Yeah, because I guess that had been something DJ had written or talked about or asked them about before or something.
Play that again. I want to hear Aaron's feistiness.
Okay.
I live
You
for
were a
stuff.
lineman. It starts in the trenches, and there have been a lot of changes to the offensive line. What do you think about what they've been able to do so far? And obviously, they're not done with the offensive line.
Did you say he was a lineman?
The tight end.
I thought you played line.
No.
I thought you played.
DJ was on that too.
Tight end and linebacker.
Okay, you didn't put your hand down. Okay, gotcha. You were a skill player.
What do you think of the tight end room?
I just thought you were a lineman. Okay.
Well, we
That was
lined
new
up.
information for you. I was
Our
really
linebackers lined up a foot off for the.
My bad.
I wanted him to, if he was going to break down the position he used to play, I wanted him to break down the tight end room.
Cal, you're a lineman. Tell me about that. Is an interesting angle, though, right? Because like no one goes up to Caserio and says, "Hey, Caserio, you played."
Hey, Nick, you coached wide receivers for one season.
JB on the soup.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Saw an article on social media regarding T. McMillan, and the source of the article was Texans Talk. We're on the come up. SNL Texans Talk. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. The only reason it's called Texans Talk is because you can't just put 3 letters as the name of a YouTube channel, unfortunately. So just had to throw something in there.
Yeah.
But that's what we talk about.
Yeah. I that's fine. It wasn't like that big of a deal.
Would have liked for them to that is something that like, say whatever you want, but spell the name right. It would have liked SNL to get in there, but
So
it's all right.
So just a reminder, Cody, do not say bomb, whether it's throwing a bomb or the bomb.
Right.
And do not say that you're going to hijack the segment.
I will not say either of those things.
Okay. He's live at an airport.
Yes.
Also, Nate Davis says the only source for Texans news. You're too kind, my friend. You're too kind, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, Nate. I asked this question yesterday. I would ask that the chat be as nice as they possibly can. The most hated man in town, Dalton Schultz. How does Dalton Schultz get forgiven? That is my question. How does that happen?
How does he find redemption?
How does it go down?
I believe there are some people that will not forgive him. And the reason is the presentation. He's never going to be like the rah, like, yeah, let's go. Always looks like he's given 110%. Like there's some laissez-faire to his approach. So I don't know that it's ever going to look good enough for some people to overcome what occurred last year.
Well, here's the thing for me. I don't even think he can have the same year 2 years ago. I think some people are just out on Dalton Schultz.
Maybe.
I think he can be all right, but I think some people are just out on Dalton Schultz. So we'll see. He's definitely the most hated player on this roster. It's very, very easy to see.
If week 1 they're playing Jacksonville and he goes out there and manhandles Josh Hines Allen from the blocking tight end spot, like he's on the way.
Yeah, and you're always going to judge him by his contract too. People are saying in the chat, someone says block, and I'm like, well, that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't want him to block.
Yeah, I would rather him not. But yeah, the salary is always going to be how people judge Dalton Schultz, fair or not. Like if Titus Howard's serviceable, he's still looked at as one of the higher paid tackles. So sometimes it just be like that. Now a big
if Schultz was the third leading receiver on the team, like that's on his way to redemption.
Sure, I guess. From last year, yes. Still wouldn't be living up quite to the contract, but
he's never going to.
Yeah,
he'd have to be freaking Gronk.
Well, someone who will help him at least try to get there will be Nick Caley. Sean McVay was at the owners' meetings. God, he was looking classy. This guy here looking.
I have an observation.
Did Sean McVay fart on you like Shane Steichen did?
No. The McVay tree guys all dress up for the owners' meetings. McVay was in a suit, real nice suit, as you'll see here in a second. Kevin O'Connell was suited up. LaFleur was suited up. So some coaches show up and they wear an athletic polo and some slacks.
What is Shanahan rocking?
Shanahan was wearing I think he was wearing an athletic polo and slacks.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I think.
Yeah, kind of a break off there.
Shanahan looked like he didn't want to be there.
What about Liam Cohen? Yeah, he's a little grumpy.
I don't know, but the one thing I do notice about Liam,
he's a McVay guy.
The one thing I do notice about Liam Cohen, I don't know because they were on the other side of the room from D'Amico, so I don't know about Liam Cohen. But when you see Liam Cohen every time, he's always fatter than you think he is.
What?
Liam Cohen's fatter than you think he is.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's got like a little. He's just like a little chubbier than you think he is.
Didn't know that. Didn't notice. So, what did McVay have to say about Caley, though?
Well, here we go. Nick Caley and another member of the Rams coaching staff, Jerry Shopinski, added to the Texans coaching staff, and McVay thinks they're well on their way.
I mean, these guys see the game from a big picture lens. Nick has an infectious energy and enthusiasm. He's going to bring it every single day. Jerry's got just a great demeanor. I think they'll balance each other out. He'll be a great, addition to be able to be in that quarterback room with CJ and some of the other great coaches they have. But I'm fired up for Nick. He'll do a great job. I think he and D'Amico are really great personality fits, and fired up for my guy Nick.
What was the biggest takeaway out of that?
It just pretty generic, I would say.
I thought there was a big one there, and if true, let's. I think it's worth kind of investigating a little bit more. Jerry Shopinski's official title doesn't have anything to do with quarterbacks, and McVay said, "Oh, Jerry being in the quarterback room." So is he the old guy that's there to kind of watch Gerard Johnson?
Oh, so you think Gerard has someone? Isn't Gerard selling his house?
He is.
I don't know. He's been pushing some crib or something. Maybe he's buying the house. I don't know.
Maybe
but he's not staying here. He might be upgrading because they just.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Shopinski's coached quarterbacks before. He did it in New York, and was an assistant quarterbacks coach for the Patriots. And so I wonder if McVay is kind of like, his official title with the Texans is senior offensive assistant and pass game specialist. So I wonder if McVay sort of I wonder if he's talked to Shopinski and he knows, oh, okay, Jerry's going to help him with quarterbacks.
Well, I would say that Gerard's performance last year, I don't know how good it was or bad it was. It didn't get talked about. Like the offensive coordinator got talked about. The offensive line coach got talked about. I even heard some mentions of like a tight end coach, but we didn't really talk about the quarterback coach, right?
We talked about him. Not everybody else did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just didn't hear much about it. It was kind of interesting. Like I brought it up. But that is kind of interesting. I think he's upgrading his house. If someone else is going to be in the quarterback room, that's obviously a little bit different, but the more resources, the better. We'll see. But
there's two ways to look at it. There's one, okay, well, maybe we see if Jerry fits with Gerard, and if Gerard leaves for an offensive coordinator job, then we've got Jerry on staff. I would also tell you, Chris Strausser was the offensive line coach, and the guy that was in the room with him now has his job.
Right. Cole Popovich.
So it's just, maybe just, oh, Jerry's here today. Like, oh, okay.
Well, we got to see what Gerard does. I don't know how to tell if a quarterback coach does a good or bad job. Like, just like an assistant offensive line coach, like that, like it works both ways. Like, I just know that the dialogue was such to where it's like, well, all this stuff. And then it was, CJ's saying he's not having fun. He's saying it's like, who's in charge of that? So we'll see what happens.
Well, the stuff you would think that the quarterback coach is in charge of, the decision making wasn't as crisp as it was the previous year. The footwork was sloppy. Like those feels like things the quarterback coach can impact. And if he can't impact it, then is it a him problem or is it a CJ problem or is it a combination of both? It's more than likely a combination of both of them and those 5 guys up front not being able to do their job.
What else did the classy mofo Sean McVay have to say?
Well, this was, first-time play caller. I know we've talked about this. It wasn't a big deal. Everybody's a first-time play caller sometime. McVay, it didn't seem like it was a big deal for Nick Caley to be a first-time play caller.
The thing for Nick is he was always preparing to take those next steps while still being totally present in his role. And I think, I go back to even just his foundation, starting with Coach Belichick and the amount of ball that you're exposed to, doing ball the right way. He was ready. He sees the game through an all-22 lens. I think that he's going to do an excellent job, and he's been preparing himself just based on the way that he approaches every single day.
All 22 lens. God, I always roll my eyes when I hear that.
Well, DeMeco Ryans has brought up the fact that Caley coached on defense every time he's talked about him. So it's not just an offensive guy. He's got some defensive experience.
Yeah. We don't know about Nick Caley. I do really, really wonder what this hybrid looks like. And what the
I hope it's the Patriots run game and the Rams pass game.
I just want to see how easy it looks for the offense, like especially the offensive line, knowing what the hell they're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's the big thing is how easy can it? Because it never looked easy last year.
Because the other thing that kind of I don't know what to make of it, but it's like the CJ. I think it got asked a couple of times, and it's like, does CJ have freedom to change plays at the line of scrimmage? And I've actually heard Kyle Shanahan be asked this about Brock Purdy, so it might be a systematic thing. But my thing is, how do we know that it's a good thing if they have freedom at the line of scrimmage? Like it's not guaranteed a good or a bad thing,
Right.
So that's like, what does that look like? I think the variables are just going to be fun to watch, fun to see what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they don't walk in week 1 of training camp and act like they've solved everything and they're doing trigonometry before they've learned how to do algebra, because that's what they did last year. It's like, yep, we're working on some advanced stuff here. It's like you can't block Mario Edwards.
I didn't learn either. So I mean, trigonometry, algebra, that's cheating for me. That's that TI-83 cheating.
Not surprised.
Rob on the chat says, because if you see an easy spot in the defense, you audible and take advantage of it. No kidding, dude. But like, you have to be good at it. Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah.
You have to see that easy spot. You have to determine if it's actual easy spot. And they're not going to change it post snap.
Yeah, I know. It's not like, yeah, obviously, dude. Like, but you don't know. Like, if you ask so and so to do this, like, if you ask this receiver to run an option route, like, hey, I want this guy. All right, this is an option route. If they're playing this defense on you, then you can do this. If they're playing this defense, you can do that. Some of them aren't good at option routes. So we don't really know. So it's not an assumed good thing. We'll see.
The old option.
Don't put too much on the plate either. Like that's the other thing. Don't put too much on the plate.
Option route, the Christian Kirk special, according to DeMeco Ryans. He talked about it the other day. He said, well, Christian Kirk, really speedy guy, win from the inside, win deep from the inside, and then really excited about those option routes on third down. I was like, what? Like it's an oddly specific thing to like. I feel like DeMeco Ryans never gets that far into the weeds on a specific player's skill set. And he was like, option routes on third down for Christian Kirk. So that's something I've got to, training camp, remind me. I got to ask Christian Kirk about the option routes.
Okay. Yeah. Ask him. I'm intrigued to hear what Christian Kirk has to say. All right.
I'm intrigued to hear from Christian Kirk, but he's getting the Diggs treatment. It'll probably be May before we hear from him.
Yeah, those press conferences, they aren't as frequent. I saw Kenny Pickett got one.
Be interested in hearing from CJ Gardner-Johnson in November.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But really, what we want to hear from is Laken Tomlinson.
Yeah, no doubt. No press conferences. So,
Okay, hold on. Hold on. I want to play deal or no deal with you, Landry.
all right.
You get Christian Kirk and CJ Gardner-Johnson, but Laken Tomlinson and Ed Ingram and Cam Robinson all go before them.
What, at the podium?
Yeah.
It's fine. Be quick. Although you and Cole Thompson combined probably asked like 46 questions to.
How does Cole Thompson get lumped into this?
Remember when Cole Thompson set the record for most questions at a press conference? And
He
it wasn't like a Bill O'Brien is firing Brian game press conference. What? Who was it? I always forget.
Oh, it was Miles Bryant.
Oh, he asked 8 Miles Bryant. He asked Miles Bryant 8.
He asked Miles Bryant like 12 questions.
Yeah, that was
eight straight to finish. If I had been on the other side of the tent, I would have left.
Oh my goodness. All right, so draft clues, Christmas feel.
Okay.
And this is AFC South version.
Okay.
So I basically you remember when it's Christmas time and you kind of you have an idea of what you want to get or what kind of gift you want to get, and usually there's no chance you're going to get it, or the lead is kind of blown. I feel like the Tennessee Titans are the rich kid that knows exactly what they're getting, but their parents are kind of trying to trick them around and say, no, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. It's Cam Ward. It's 100% Cam.
It's like you're getting a car and it's like, hey, Mom, I saw the auto insurance agent said we added a new car to the policy. What was that about?
Yes. So they know what their Christmas present is.
Yep.
Indianapolis, they're the kid that they want one thing. And I asked my Indianapolis guy the other day, I said, hey, who do the people want out there them to draft? And I've been asking him this for 9 years. And every year it's something different. He's like, some like this, some want that, some want that. Kind of like the dialogue that we would have with the Texans right now. He had 4 words for me. Warren, 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 Warren.
I believe it.
They want Tyler Warren really bad. I don't know if they can afford it. Dad had to take a pay cut. They want it. It seems achievable, but I don't know. I don't know if they can afford the Tyler Warren situation.
They very clearly want an Xbox, but they might end up with a PlayStation.
Yes.
They very clearly want Tyler Warren.
They do. Oh, badly.
But they might end up with Colston Loveland.
They want him worse than you can imagine. And then the Texans are you don't know what.
You do Texans last. What did you do with Jacksonville?
The Jags. The Texans, we have no idea. Obviously, the Jags, that is mystery. They could get Cole in the stocking. They could get a Mercedes.
They wrote down everything. And it's we'll just get something from the list.
They're the biggest wild card of the draft. I have no idea what the hell they're going to do. I have no idea what the Jags are going to do.
You know what I was talking to somebody about here at the owners' meetings about why isn't Tyler Warren in play for New England at 4? Tyler Warren is better at tight end than the offensive linemen that they're going to draft are at offensive line. And Mike Vrabel, he knows the legacy of tight end success that they had there. Why isn't Tyler Warren in play at 4 for the Patriots?
He might be.
That's my big prediction. The Patriots are taking Tyler Warren at 4.
Well, I think it's very possible because Vrabel's a Big Ten guy, man. He's a Big Ten guy. He likes alpha male hard asses, and that is. Tyler Warren is a hardo, and he's an alpha. They also want weapons for Drake May. They paid a lot on the offensive line. Maybe they wanted to avoid this wide receiver market. Maybe they said, man, we're talking about this McMillan guy. He doesn't even like football. Golden, come on. He ain't nothing. We're gonna get Tyler Warren, and we're just gonna pay this Stephon Diggs guy for 1 year. Maybe that's what it is. Who knows?
I wonder if they're just keeping it under wraps. But Tyler, they can't fool me.
Zach the Duck Getter. My goodness, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got like a dozen ducks right there.
They let the whole camp. They let him hold the whole camp's haul.
Nah, he shot those himself, brother. He says, "What would y'all's top 5 picks be at 25, regardless of availability? I don't care if it was Travis Hunter. Who would your top 5 be? So we can just name our top 5 players if the Texans could have anyone in the league. Number 1 would be Travis Hunter, and the reason, as a receiver, he is a receiver and he is a situational corner. Very rare situational corner, which they need. They already have 2 really good corners. It actually fits perfect with Travis Hunter because I think he's the best receiver in this draft. Some of these teams are saying they're going to play him at corner. I think that's a mistake. But you get Travis Hunter, you get the best receiver in this draft, and you get a situational corner. So that would be my number 1.
Are you going to keep us in suspense for 2 through 5, or
number 2? Like for the Texans, Tyler Warren. I think Tyler Warren would be an absolute mofo on this team. Number 3, God, man, is it Will Campbell? I guess. Like I don't know who the best tackle is. Like your guess is as good as mine. I guess I'll go Will Campbell. Number 3, number 4. Actually, number 3, Genty.
Genty. There you go.
Genty's number 3. Number 4 is Campbell, and then number 5 is I guess I'll go Abdul just because I'll let D'Amico have a little sprinkle there.
Mine would be Warren, Genty, Hunter, Campbell, and then it's hard to not say Abdul Carter, isn't it? It's kind of hard to not say Abdul Carter.
But do you not agree that like on a team like Travis Hunter, if I were one of the teams, like I don't know that Travis Hunter would be on my 5, but we're talking Texans, like for what they could use him and how they would appropriately use him, it's actually like the perfect layout. We need a receiver and we need a situational corner.
Oh yeah, just run him out there on 3rd downs and bump Kamari inside on whoever and have some fun that way. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hate people in the chat saying Mason Graham. I hate Mason Graham. So no thanks.
I saw him get mocked to the Jags the other day.
Be my guest. Be my guest. He seemed so aloof and out of it when I saw him at the combine, and he's not as big as I thought he was.
Well, some people say he's a top 5 Michigan football player.
That's fine. You can be really good in college and not be good in the pros.
Very exceptions and examples.
Yeah.
Remember one way.
Throwing around them boys at Rutgers is a lot easier than throwing around those guys every Sunday.
Yep.
I mean, Michigan had 3 good offenses they faced every year.
Oh, yep. Cody Stoots live at the airport. By the way, 3 people asked me to say hey in my chat yesterday. They want shout outs from you. So you just got to say hi to them. Just say hi. Tim Johnson.
Hi, Tim Johnson.
Just say hi, Tim. Okay.
Hi, Tim.
Okay. Jermaine.
Hi, Jermaine.
And then Jack.
Jack, hello. Nice try. Nice try. I didn't put the thumbs up, so no 15-yard penalty for me.
Oh man. All right, so you'll be back tomorrow. We'll be live. We'll get into the draft a little bit deeper. We'll get into the dream scenarios, all that. It's kind of shaping up a little bit, but not too much. I've seen some interesting mock scenarios with the Texans. I don't necessarily like. If they take a guard at 25, I don't think it would be deflated would be the right word. There just wouldn't be a lot of excitement. If it ends up working, good for them. But I saw a guard mock to them. I think it was Lance's.
Yeah,
and
I saw it too.
Yuck.
Yeah, you hate offensive line.
Nah, guard.
You just don't respect what those guys have to do.
I very much do. It's tough. I don't know how they do it. Basically doing full body workouts the whole time. So appreciate everyone for coming through. Cody's going to get on a plane. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Hi, Jack.